Well, welcome everybody. You get to have conversations sometimes. Doug, what time did you get here? About 6 hours ago, I think.
Yeah, somewhere.
But Doug, Boston, welcome to the show. We are always trying to learn from guys from all walks of life and parts of the world and specialties. And you look at the TV wall up here, everybody. I'm going to share this with everybody, but I'm going to make a point of it right now. I'm going to read these off. Handyman, HVAC, refrigeration, full home remodeling, kitchen remodeling, bath remodeling. I'm going to put this up for everybody to take a look at on the wall. You can see there. Look at this. This is his business card, essentially, right? And doors and windows, retaining walls, electrical, plumbing, flooring, drywall, painting, repairs. You can do it all.
One-stop shop.
One-stop shop. JDR, job done right. That came up there the first time.
Yep. You got to have it. You can't go back. Nobody wants to have the job done and then have to get it tore out and repaired again.
Yeah. We've had a long pregame discussion, we call that. Pregame. What do we talk about?
Everything.
Everything. Life, how we help this little planet.
Yep.
Doug's a sharp guy, smart guy. And I said, man, we need to talk. Originally, we reached out to him. We said, we'll do this nice little fun short clip. And he's like, well, can we talk more than that? I'm like, let's do it, man. Got some sponsorship money that comes in for what we do. And I said, Doug, we got this. And here we are. We're going to talk for a good half hour here because I can tell you're pretty knowledgeable at what you do.
As much as I can be. I'm always learning every day.
Yeah, but that's true. My mom, I'm not going to tell you how old she is, but she's just getting her 60th anniversary. They're going to do a special thing for her. The point is, she tells me, Carter, I still learn something every single day. If you're going to be a professional, that's kind of what you have to do, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to be open to new ideas.
Because especially in the world of construction, we jumping ahead of some of my questions here. They're all outlined. I have a new monitor here. One of my sponsors said, hey, man, I'll give you the big monitor here if you'll use it in your studio. So we got a vertical monitor. I can read right there. It looks like I'm almost looking at the camera.
Yeah.
And we've got a teleprompter and all that stuff, too, if we need to. But why did you decide? Let me start off with that. We'll get back to how's technology. That's question number 9 or so. It's 13. We'll see. We might be doing 2 shows with Doug because I found he's very knowledgeable, and we like to share the knowledge so people can learn from experts like yourself. Is that fair?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So why'd you decide to get into this? You had a couple careers. You talked to me a little bit about what you had been doing previously. Fruit industry. How long ago was that? That was like as a kid and maybe not too long ago. But
that was a couple years ago.
Okay. But along the way, you've done a lot of construction stuff. I guess that's why you decided to make this a full-time gig.
Yeah, I've been in the construction field for over 30 years. So
30 years, everybody. So Doug started when he was 6.
I wish I was that young. No. I started about age 17.
17 years old. Okay. So that's what we're looking for. Guys who've been doing this for a while, take out your pencil, everybody. Experience matters. 30 years. Holy cow. We have a lot of pregame prep. We didn't even talk about that part. I mean, I knew you'd do it for a while, but 30 years, that's kind of shocking because Doug's a young guy. He looks young. I didn't ask him his age. You never ask a guy his age, right?
No, that's the woman.
Oh, that's the girls. Okay, good. Mm-hmm. That's the ladies. You're not supposed to. I got it. All right, well, shout out because we do want to give a little kudos. We have a lot of good sponsors that help make this thing happen, and I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. Well, I'll say it right now. There's Brooke. I can put this up. Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle. Might just go with that. Brooke came up to me recently. He's like, man, I'm hearing all about my sponsorship on your show. Things must be going great. I said, yeah. And I said, we're good with everything. So he's like, okay, cool, keep going, man. But a lot of people, they want nice furniture, but they want a nice house to put it in. Can you help people with that?
Well, I might be able to do that.
Kind of what you do, isn't it?
Just a little bit.
Well, we're going to show off a lot of his work here in just a minute, but wanted to have this kind of a discussion because we get in a little bit. First, the people would like to know, how'd you get there, right? Where'd you come from? How long you been doing it? And we're trying to help other people who might be deciding they want to switch careers or they want to try something different. And I'd say, wake up any day you want in this little planet, in this country. If you work hard at it, you can do anything you set your mind to. Is that fair to say?
Yep. You just got to figure out what you want to do.
Go ahead.
Try what you want to try, and if it doesn't work out, try the next thing.
But you're saying never give up.
Never give up.
There you go. That's one of my favorites. Never, ever, ever. I think that's Jimmy V.
You give up, you die.
That's how it is. Literally, like there's people like they retire and then they don't do anything else.
They give up.
And they wither away. And
that's exactly what happens.
May not be here with us after that. My mom, that's why she's teaching part-time still, her drama. She loves teaching drama.
Yeah, my mom worked till the day she was died.
Really? Well, I'll pray for her because we all miss our mamas. I'm lucky to still have.
Yeah.
My daddy's up there waiting. I'll see him again someday, right? All right, so you talked a little bit. What led you here, though? Well, you had the interest. Did you learn from Dad, from your brother-in-law? How did you get into the actual construction industry?
A friend of mine's dad.
Okay.
Started in flooring.
Okay.
So, when I was 17, started with him. Then we built his son's business, and then, then did venture off and do other things, and then went back to it. But construction's been in my life for, like I said, 30 plus years.
All right.
Stopped it.
Yeah, I mean, flooring seems to me it's a core. Like you can learn a lot by doing flooring because you got to tear out bottom baseboards, and then you're into the walls, and then you got sockets, and you got electric, and then you got to get to the framing, and so yeah, doing floors would be a good place to start because you're also not climbing around on the roof, which you can do that too, but the floors are essential. I don't know two people who have a house that don't have a floor.
Right. Well, I mean, unless you want to live in a third world country where there's dirt, so
right, yeah, no,
still called a floor.
It's still called a floor. That's true. Mm-hmm. I was visiting Guatemala on a trip that we took, and these guys, it literally looked like the place where you just like it looks similar to what you have where I don't even want to say what am I trying to say, but like they had bamboo huts and everything, and there was a dirt floor literally, and they looked at me and they could tell maybe I was from America, and they're like, "Do you have any money?" And I'm like, "Here, man, here's $10, $20," which to them was worth probably $1,000 or something. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, be gracious with what we have here on this little planet here in the United States. Would you agree with that?
We take too much for granted. We do.
That's for sure.
I mean, you got to learn what the value of a dollar is, and then you won't take as much for granted. That's the honest truth, though.
That is true. But you got to work for your money, and you got to gain a skill, gain a trade, do something you specialize in. My mom and dad made me go to computer classes. Does that make sense?
Right.
And so my dad joked with me. He says, "Carter, you're going to have it's called indoor work with no heavy lifting."
Mm-hmm.
But there'll be a lot of guys who like make a lot more money, as I have guests like yourself on, and then they're like, and these guys, some of them, depending where they're at, some of them made a lot of money. Some of them make it, they love what they do and not cared about the money, but they love helping people. And some of them do both. I mean, it's all kinds. But construction is such a critical trade, like for our humanity's survival, right?
People don't understand when you're building a house that if you don't pick out your lumber and you have just a bulk come in, a third of that lumber could be damaged or warped or whatever. I mean, and then you just gotta go buy more. So yeah, you gotta be very picky in what you do.
Yeah, that's a good point because that's what I also enjoy about what we get to do here, everybody, because I get to learn every single time from every guest that we've had on. We're up to like 170 different guests we've had on here, and it's sometimes I think tonight we're going to try to fit into. Doug decided, I said, man, if you want to come in after you work, you can do that. We'll record. We started about 6:30. We're going to finish about 2 in the morning.
Somewhere around there.
But as we started getting into it, I'm like, I learned from everybody about this. I'm going to be the most educated broke guy on the planet.
Right.
No, I've done it right, but I mean, you get to learn. I hadn't heard that. That's a tip. That's a trade secret, right? Pick out your own lumber. Keep your eyes on that lumber.
Yeah.
Because if they just come shovel off the shipment from wherever and drop it off from the lumber yard that somebody ordered and you're whatever, and they're going to stick those 2x4s in there that might be a little not straight.
Well, you got twisted, you got bent, you got extreme crown. You want to try to find straightest lumber you can when you frame it in the house. That way your drywall is not all bowed and looks like a river going down the wall when you're looking at it. So
this is why we bring guys like this on our show to talk about things to consider. I built a little bit of my house in the studio over here. That's called a barn door, right? Mm-hmm. We left it open for the first time in a long time because the air is about the time where it doesn't get too hot, but it's not too cold. During the summer, it's too hot if you don't close it. In the winter, it's too cold if you don't close it. But that thing right there, man, I looked at every one of those. Those are 2x8s by 10s, and I cut them down to fit 8 foot or whatever. You can tell it's an 8 foot opening over there. But if you don't make those suckers straight, that looks really goofy.
Yep.
So I picked out every one of those myself, like you said, and I've done some other construction, but I didn't realize that. I always did that. I was like, well, that one's a little crooked. But you're right, man. That's another. They come in there with their own lumber.
You can work with the crooked, but your crown is your most crucial.
Now, what's the crown? Is that the top?
The crown is the two sides. So if you have the board flat and you stand it up on the side, the crown is what's going to show your bow up. Okay. That's your crown. If you flip it over, that's the belly.
Okay.
And if you take 3 of them and you put the crown out on one side in the frame and you put it on this side, you're going to have a warp. So you got to make sure the crowns are all on the same side and not too far apart. Because if one's way out here and then one's setting straight, you're still going to have that river.
Sounds like he knows what he's talking about here. And I'm trying to picture that. I'm like, I had, for some reason, a little piece of a 2x4 that I cut off that's around here.
Well, look. So take this.
All right, here we're going to
see this head.
hold that up a little bit if you're going to do that. There you go. Here's your diagram. A little bit higher. A little bit higher.
If the head is straight.
A little higher.
Oh, how high?
Right there. There you go.
If the head is straight and then you put a crease here, that's what the wall would look like. If the crown is out here, and then the crown is back here, and then the crown is out here again.
Okay. It just doesn't look good. It won't.
No.
Somebody looks at that, they'll tell if they look close enough. Some people have that going on probably, and a lot of people don't notice it.
Unless you're good at mudding.
That's a lot of mud to fill because you got to put like a 1/4 inch of mud, right?
You can use plaster and then mud on top of it, but yeah.
Plaster and mud. I thought it was the same thing.
Nope. Plaster is a textured type of mud that they use back in the day, and I mean they use it now in the older houses, but
to fill the gaps. And a lot of times back in the old houses, you've got a lot of great work here. Let's jump in and look at a couple of the pictures. Is that all right?
As much as you want.
All right. I'm running the show here, trying to, right? But all right. So up here on the TV wall number 1. Start off here. This is a floor after it's finished. Tell everybody what was going on with this floor and why they chose this kind of wood and what's going on here. Older house, you can tell the walls look like they're a little bit older, but that floor looks really good.
That's an older house. What was going on is they had somebody install a lighter flooring, a click-together laminate plank flooring, and then they just didn't put it in right. It started to gap in between boards. They didn't put it under the stove and under the dishwasher and all that. And then when I come in, I pulled that out. I had to re-level the floor because they didn't take up all the old flooring. And then I put that one in. That's a click-together laminate plank flooring.
Okay. And you want that high-quality click-together because otherwise there's other kinds. You stick them together. What's the kind of difference in the flooring?
Well, I mean, you got so many variants in flooring, but the click-together, you got different widths. It's just you got to make sure that it's tight and it's actually locks in place. That's not what they did on the last one.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's scroll through here. We'll show everybody a little bit more as we continue, but there's another angle for that. Put that up for everybody to see. That's a lot. How many square foot was that floor?
So that was I think it was a 16 by 14 number of square foot on the top of my head. 150
square foot. I'm going with 10 by 10 plus 26. Yeah, 125 or something like that. But not bad. I mean, there's a lot that goes in that. But that's a pretty good size. I mean, you're buying this stuff is nice stuff. This is not cheap.
Yeah, no, that was the thicker laminate plank flooring.
Okay.
Which they call LVP. It's laminate plank vinyl. But you can get real thin stuff that's malleable, or you can buy that harder stuff you got cut with a saw. That's what they bought. So it's going to last. It's scratch resistant and waterproof. I do a lot of that in the kitchens and bathrooms just for that reason.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about, we just had a remodel job done by a friend of mine who helped us to make sure it was way out in the middle of Missouri. It's hard to get people to go out there and do that work, but I recall the stuff they put down. It was thick. I'm gonna hold up. It was like, like, can you see that? What am I pinching there to say? There's my camera. But the normal stuff, that stuff is down there. It was probably that thick that's on this floor. Is it like
That one? No, it was a little over, maybe 5/16 thick, a little over a quarter.
Okay, so not super thick, but
No,
stuff that.
you're looking about that thick.
Okay, all right, but there's old stuff like I've got in my house. I found some in the basement because now it's 20 years old, and I'm like, oh, that looks brand new like cherry wood. It looks like oak now because it's got bleached out by the sun. I'm like, ooh, but it was like that thick. And now what was that?
It was probably original hardwood.
Okay, yeah,
So,
that expensive stuff.
well, nowadays it can be, but back then it wasn't.
Really? 20 years
That's
ago.
what they used on everything was old hardwood.
Okay.
So hardwood was the good way to go. I mean, it still is. It's still going to last a lot longer.
Okay.
You can condition it and seal it and stain it to whatever color you want.
Now you're talking. So
You
that
can make it purple if you wanted to.
well, sometime I might take you by. Well, show you what I'm talking about. Come over to the house and I'll show you where it's like over here it's oak, over here it's cherry. It was originally cherry, but the sun does damage over years.
Yes, sun, wear and tear. I mean, it's just a standard. Everything's going to fade no matter what.
Yeah.
Just how long.
Right.
So
20 years. My house is almost paid off, so it's all right that I got some. I can use some equity in there.
yeah.
Get some new flooring. I know a guy who can help me with that. All right. Well, I want to go through some more of these pictures because you obviously are an expert and look at that work. So here is this the floor up there on the wall now? That's before.
This is before. This is what I had to clean up. They had vinyl peel and stick, vinyl composite tile down on there.
Okay.
So the other guy took up pieces of it, laid the new third flooring down on it, and then it would just start to buckle.
This stuff's not going to buckle. This stuff is.
No, I cleaned all that up so that you don't see the square tiles underneath anymore.
And those stains were from some of the glue that they had or something, or.
That's glue
carp-
and just that was a fiber backing that just stuck to it after so long.
Okay, but you scraped all that up to make it all level. This stuff will level it all out. And
That's a level floor right there.
yeah, you go back here. That's what it looks like. All right, see what now we're talking about. This is really. I mean, why would you not want to spend the time and get somebody professionally to do this? Because there's always those do-it-yourselfers. What do you think about the do-it-yourselfers? Bring it on, right? And you'll come fix it later, I guess.
When they call me, I just tell them I can fix anything. I literally can.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
Well, I know that mentality. That's what I end up doing with computers. Don't call me for your computer problems, everybody.
Oh, why not? You know you want the business.
You can. That's not what I do anymore. It's $125 an hour. How about that? I can. I'll help some. I help anybody. Just get me when I'm available, and that's tough to do sometimes. All right, so we're scrolling through. We got to look now. This is another angle for that same kitchen, but we're looking at stuff being torn out.
Yeah, if you can see where the tiles were actually.
Yeah, you can see the square marks.
That's what I had to take up. The lighter spots right there is where it was trying to stick. But yeah, I got all that up. That's all level. And yeah, these lighter spots right there. That's where it was sticking good. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense now because there's glue or whatever, but that stuff all gets pulled out because you got to make it look right or else otherwise. Now, you don't just do residential. You do everything. You name it.
This is one of my commercial jobs, so I did the awnings on this one.
Okay.
I changed them from orange.
Yeah, that's the AT&T colors, right?
That was a nasty, ugly color. But we changed them to the new blue that they have on their logos.
Those on blue, baby, blue. All right. That looks nice. Yeah, you those. AT&T wants their stuff to look nice.
Yeah, you should show the big one.
All right, let's go over to the next one. Is that
there?
That's what I knew it was AT&T. See, ladies and gentlemen, I got the pregame prep. I got to see this before you guys did.
That's a 16-footer right there, and that's a 12-footer right there.
Okay, so 16 and 12 foot.
Yeah, those are fun on a windy day.
But you talked about that a little bit. There was literally like they were picking you up off the ground almost.
They were trying to. They were trying to.
Right.
So there's actually one more on the backside, but the bigger picture of that. So 6 of those is what I came up with.
Okay, yeah, and those are. But yeah, you give Doug a call. He can fix anything.
Anything.
I heard he had a call here during while pregame prep. Somebody has a drain that's clogged or sink that's got a problem or something.
They had a washing machine back up.
Oh, okay.
All the way up to the kitchen, so that's a clogged drain, and somewhere in the system. It's just got to figure out where it's at. So
he can diagnose things over the phone just because he's done this so much. You say
just a couple times.
But you're gonna go see her later, tomorrow, whenever.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see her, and she's a single mother, so I'm gonna do my best to not hurt her pocketbook.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. No, that's.
If it's such a small job, I might not even charge her.
Yeah, just the word spreads when you do things like that. That's called
I mean,
good karma. Right?
It's good to help people when they need it. I mean, you don't have to charge everybody all the time.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Well, as you mentioned, if you know any charities, once a week now we're putting a charity on, sponsored by me or my sponsors, whoever organization is, and people chip in, and I've got some other people, and I'll call some of my business buddies, and they're like, "Yeah, man, I'll throw some money at that. That's a good cause."
Right.
Because as you know, there's very few things that are nothing's actually free on this planet, right?
Nothing's free. Somebody's going to pay for it, but some people do receive free stuff.
Yeah, and they need help, and we help those people. I like that. Good attitude. We need to talk about that before. Good dude here. That's where I put the hat on, everybody. Got the hat. I hang that up over here now, but. If you're doing community stuff, then we break out the hat. We're almost 20.
Right.
We're 22 minutes in. Should have put the hat on sooner. That's what you do. All right, let's go through a few more pictures. You've got a lot of good stuff to share.
Don't worry, we got plus 30 more minutes.
That's right. We're gonna
after
do.
this,
That's right. I
so.
told Doug we're gonna do another half hour. If it's all right with you. Here's a good-looking kitchen that you finished. Right?
Yes, this was one of my full home remodels. I did a complete tear out of this kitchen, so I put in all the cabinets, countertop, sink, painted everything, new chair rail, new 6-inch base, new faucets, plumbing, electrical, everything's in there.
And you've got master electricians, everybody you need to make sure that these jobs get done, and permits and everything you need.
Yep, everything
That's
permitted
important.
by my master electricians and master plumbers.
Okay.
So,
And
yep.
you're the GC. They call you the general contractor.
Yes, sir.
You oversee all of it to make sure it gets done correctly.
Job done right.
JDR Contracting and Remodeling, LLC. Job done right the first time.
Yep,
JDRCR.com. You can call or text 699-1009,
correct.
area code 314. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You might think about calling my buddy. Why wouldn't you want to call him? He's got a great last name, too. Doug Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I played for the Red Sox. We talked about this a little
Yeah.
bit. I played for the Red Sox. Don't tell anybody. My Cardinal fans might get mad at me. It's kind of a joke. I did play for the Red Sox. The Baldwin Red Sox, where I was the MVP along with Lane Pietro back in the day. We were the best league, National Blue. We beat the Baldwin Blast. Brian, Chris Shockley, Brian Cambler. You guys still mad at me? These are good ball players. Brian was all national. Chris played shortstop at Mizzou, and then I went off to do my thing. But we love it. So sports makes us competitive, helps us win
Oh, yeah.
in life. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that, but I also agree with it being a way to learn how to be a team.
We talk about all the things. Being part of a team. How important is that? Because if you don't understand how to be a team player,
If you're always selfish, it's going to hurt you in the end.
it'll hurt you. Think you're winning because you got something.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good way to live life.
Yep.
You learn that through sports. You're a soccer player and a baseball player.
Soccer, baseball, yep.
See, us soccer, baseball players, did you ever think about kicking field goals?
I mean, it wouldn't have been hard.
That's what I was saying. When you played soccer, were you a striker?
I was a keeper, a striker. I actually played defense too, so
Yeah, sometimes you got to put wherever they need you, right?
I was always a versatile.
There you go. Every position. We talked about pregame pep. We thought you played every position in baseball too. I did that once too. I didn't play as much first base, but one game I did play first base. I had a first baseman's glove. Why wouldn't you? If you love baseball, you got every glove you need.
Yep.
You played a lot of first base because you were the guy that could dig it out
Yep.
and stretch.
Make the stretch. Got to make the stretch. But yeah, I did pitching, catching, first base, and second base was my main. But I played every position.
And that's because you're a team player.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because I'm good.
and because he's good. And when you got somebody who's good, don't you learn a lot about life there? Also, confidence is important.
Yep.
Especially if you're going to walk into a business and be like, yeah, I've never done this very specific thing, maybe, because everything's unique if you really analyze anything. There's no two situations that are exactly the same. but you know how you're going to get it done.
Well, I also think that, you know, the best thing is if you don't know what you're doing, to at least say it. Look, I don't know how to do this. Well, the person you're talking to might, and they might teach you.
Right? Yeah, no, that's for sure. I mean, because the worst thing you can do is make yourself look really stupid when you act like you know something and they figure out you don't.
Exactly.
And they're like, now we can't trust you.
You're not going to walk in an interview and say you know everything about that job and then go in there and not know nothing. You'll be out the door right as you walk back in.
Tips for life, everybody. That's what the show's about. Because in your little castle, which is really your little kingdom, your little world, Doug's got some good feedback for you here. That's important. Let's talk about a couple more of the things you've worked on. There's a before.
That is the same house with the kitchen, and I did the bathroom.
Okay.
So I had to tear out everything besides the window, the tub, and the tub surround. But all that veneer tile, toilet, vanity, medicine cabinets, yeah, that all had to come out. Put new 1/4-inch drywall up to make everything smooth where that veneer was. We'll put new flooring down. Yeah, that was a mess.
Well, you kind of do you specialize in working in older houses, or you work in everything? I would assume, but
everything. But I mean, a lot of the renovations are, you know, in houses that are 20 to 50 years old. So
sure.
Most of my work right now is up in Jennings,
Okay.
Ferguson. That's where I'm at right now, is in Ferguson.
Oh, okay. But you'll get Fenton, Arnold,
I
O'Fallon.
do an 85-mile radius, and if the job's big enough, I'll go to the Boot Heel if I need to.
Right. Okay. Well, get a hold of Doug if you need some work done. Obviously, this guy does know what he's doing, and he's got a lot of work to demonstrate that. But man, there was a bathroom that needed some help. Was that's the kitchen?
That's
Sorry,
the before on that kitchen
on
that
the
you've
kitchen.
seen earlier. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. All right. Well, obviously we've got a lot here to share with everybody.
I tore out all those cabinets. Like I said, we ridded them all, countertop, sink, everything.
And some more work we got here. We're going to finish up this first half hour here, everybody. Good looking. You do a little bit. So that's a
This is a shed that needed some TLC.
Okay, it looks beautiful now. So you took it from whatever it was, and now it looks like that.
Yes, I re-sided it all the way around, rebuilt the doors, and put a new lock on it, painted everything, trimmed everything out.
Doug's got a lot of work he's done here. We're going to flip through a couple more, but get a hold of him and listen to the second half of the show, because we didn't get into. He's got some great reviews. A lot of people talking well about him. He's on the BBB, and he's a really good expert, and they're hard to find, and lots more that we can show you that he's done, and you can see all that stuff. Your website's getting revamped too, isn't it?
Yes, it's getting a
Got it on the wall behind us here, but let's take a look at that. Everybody.
Yeah, it's a nice little website, but it's getting a revision, so.
All right. We got to finish up here, Doug. We'll talk more. Giddy up.